Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back to another pipeline trading video. Today, I'm just going to go over what I'm seeing in the markets. I have to start the video by saying there were some technical issues. I wasn't able to get the video out yesterday to export it, but I was able to fix it and I put it out literally 5 or 10 minutes ago. So go check out the video from yesterday because I was talking about some key things. And I'm going to reiterate a few things and tell you what I'm doing because I did put that option play from the video from yesterday, and I'll explain what I was looking at. But right now, I'm going to go over the markets, the semiconductors, oil, gold, Bitcoin, ETH, BMNR, Hive, Intel, Tesla, and the yields, the bond market, because that's where things are not looking the greatest. So I think the bond market, if I go to the 10-year, it sold off a bit today. What worries me is this break of structure. We're out of the wedge. And the 30-year, as you can see, has done the same. This is not good at all. We're basically at the highs from October of 23. And I'm hoping that things calm down and reverse, but it doesn't look like that's the case. And it goes back, I've been saying this for quite some time. This is one of the biggest things to worry about, what the market and where it's going. Even though the economy is good and unemployment is down, inflation's up, bonds, and depending upon what this new Fed chair is going to do, I don't believe we're going to get as many rate cuts as people are anticipating. So that's not really going to be great for risk on assets. The other thing is we're seeing the market literally continue to rip based off of AI. And the issue with this is they're pricing in things that have yet to come. And not to say that they won't, but if they're priced in already, and they do hit that, then that's it. If they miss expectations or spending, there's software concerns with CapEx, that's not going to be good for the market. So you can see with the semiconductors, we kind of died down. We're going to see here if we make a new high or not. And if we don't, then this thing looks like it can roll over. If we go to oil sold off, which is why the market's ripping today. Gold is also taking a dump. Now, still too early to tell. We're at key levels. Maybe we hold the 200. If we break the 200, I expect us to go down to the bottom of this wedge or potentially the 0.88, which is 4,193 for gold. But I don't know. I don't know. This is descending. So to me, this is bullish. I think gold may rip higher. Bitcoin, so far, it's holding the 20-day moving average, which is good. So what I want to alert you on is if we break right here. So the first target we should be looking at for the downside would be around 73,000 area. Well, not exactly. Call it 73,484. Okay. If we hold this, can we get a chop up here? Yep. And what that would look like, so you're aware of this, is we could go like this. 1, 2, and then down here. So that's what I would be watching out for. There's a lot of uncertainty right now. And the thing is, I've been calling and talking about this bear flag for so long, and it hit the key level that we've been watching, which was the 80 to 84,000 mark, that zone, which is where it changed character over here and broke. But as you can see, when it breaks pretty fast and furious. You're not going to see it. It's not going to look like anything's happening. And it does. If we hold these levels, maybe we get a retest and we go back up. But that's just something to be mindful of, right? Just so you know when you're putting your plan together, here's where the levels are. Think about the levels, okay? Know your downside, know your upside, and then basically manage your risk in between to know what you're willing to risk and where you're comfortable. If I go to ETH is actually already broken out of the bear flag. So, one thing that I'm watching for is I'm going to be watching this area huge, okay? Because what typically would happen is we can have a serious fake out where everybody thinks it's going to get bought up. And we get, so you can see it right here, we're down, right? So you could go A, B, and then C up to this area. And then people think it's done. But then we can get, or like that's the first thing that I'm looking at. Can we get that? Right? We had this correction, A, B, C. Do we get an A, B, and then a C up to this order block? Fake everybody out thinking that it's going to go back to the high side and then it rolls back over? Or do we get a pump up to here to hit? Like this is really big. We could hit 2242. Yeah. 2,242 level is where we can hit, which would take you to these these fair value gaps right here. Okay. If we go there and get rejected, this will roll back down here. And if we do not hold this 1924 level, then I think we can make our leg down to first 1690, potentially down to 1,455. Now, what I'm doing at the same time as I'm watching this is I've been telling you I've been using BMNR to trade it because it's more leverage. So whatever move ETH makes, BMNR makes a bigger move. So in the video that I made yesterday, which I was not able to get out, I apologize. I did tell you in the previous, so 2 days ago, that I bought an options contract on BMNR expiring in January of 2027. And I bought the $13 call right here, right where my mouse is, based off of this one candle. This is a Maribozu. You could see it's over 3 times the size of this candle here. Okay. So that's where I got bullish. And I'm on the 1 minute chart for the record. So what I was watching is I wanted to see how we were going to do over here. And I almost sold and closed my position, but because of the Gaussian channel and because of the volume and I was watching the tape, it didn't really make much sense because as we were going down, the volume didn't really pick up like here. So I was like, okay, maybe the downside's pretty much in. Where I messed up is I should have covered my short here while doing my long, but I looked at it like, okay, I still have my short. I'll go long, and I do ultimately want to keep adding to my long position as this goes up just because of the exposure I have to the upside. So that didn't work out well in the sense of I should have covered my short around here because the call was right. What worked out well is today I covered my option. I sold the option for about, I'll tell you the math. I won't tell you the profit, but percentage wise, it worked out to a 5% trade, which is decent. It could have been higher, but I wasn't really happy with the amount of volume I was seeing in the order book. And the price wasn't really moving as much as I anticipated. So for that, I just got out of it. Wasn't really doing anything for me. How I'm going to be playing this is I'm waiting for this gap to fill. If I go to the 5 minute, and again, this isn't financial advice. This is just so you can see what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, and then again, use what I'm doing. Don't use what I'm doing, but come up with your own game plan. I'm on the 5 minute chart. Right now, we're in an uptrend. Things are still looking good. Every time we come down, volume dies. Every time we go up, the volume picks up. So that's great. That's awesome. I'm looking based off of what I was telling you with ETH to see if we're going to get rejected on the, if we get rejected at this level right here or the 50, it's pretty much almost the same thing that we're seeing here. Excuse all the clicking. It's pretty much what we're seeing here. So I want to see, are we going to go to this fair value gap and get rejected? Or are we going to try and push up here? So that's still to be determined. I don't know what's going to happen. And like I said, I don't have a crystal ball, nor do I try to have one. But how I'm going to play this is the moment we go up to this level, if we do get rejected, okay, I'm going to be selling cover calls again. So the cover calls I sold on BMNU were at $2.55, and I was a little early to it. And as you can see, they closed worthless. So as I continue to do this, it's only lowering my cost at my average cost, right? And at the same time, I pull money out to live on. But this is what has been working out really well. I'm going to see, though, I had to make a decision. Do I just, because I've been making on the calls, maybe I might just sell for a bit of a loss on the shares. I already made money on the calls. Because if this does roll over, I do think it could get really nasty and we could come fill this gap down here at 1746 first. And if we break this level at 1840, we could come all the way down to 1640, all depending upon where ETH wants to bottom out. So for those reasons, that's something that I'm cautiously watching. We're still in a downtrend. And also, too, I don't know. I'm trying to figure this out on what I'm going to do and make a decision shortly because I'm going to have to react pretty quick when it gets to this level to see how it responds. But I do think this week that BMNR, based off of the options chain and the order book, that we're going to be closing. I'll tell you right now, we will be closing between below $20 for sure. We're closing below $20 unless something amazing happens and there's a short squeeze or anything like that. On the options chain by Friday expiration, there's 13,000 open interest contracts at $20 strike on the call side. There's 9,444 on the 19 strike on the call side. So for those reasons, when I compare that to the put side, there's only 7,000 at $20 strike, and there's only 3,800. So if you average out from 19 to 20 strike all the puts and all the calls, you're going to be somewhere in the middle. Maybe it closes below, it might actually close below 1950 to 9. It might even close below 19. So for those reasons, that's why I'm really, really cautious. And based off of the timeline and what we were watching for Bitcoin and everything else, I was expecting a massive drawdown by the summer, and the bottom should be in by June or July. So that's where I have to be careful, and that's why I'm really considering selling the shares, or maybe I just keep selling the calls, um, but a further out date in the money so that they pay a really high premium, and then I could take my position and I can also add to the short, because I do think overall this is going to be a bigger fall. Now, another play that I've been watching, and this is something that I'm going to be keeping a really close eye on because it's doing exactly what I thought it would. The measured move was at 647. And you'd have to go back a while. I've been talking about this for quite some time. We got rejected over here at the 200 day. And I said, if we hold the 200, get above this consolidated was it's a bull flag, that you're going to see a leg up. Now, what's interesting about this is they've been making some pretty big moves. I don't really like their balance sheet. I don't think it's the greatest. But what I'm going to be looking for is maybe, just so you guys know, if I were to pull, you could see where we went up here and then we came down. When these little pullbacks, they don't look big on the chart, those are 20% pullbacks. I'm going to be looking for a 20% pullback roughly, or less, whatever it is that it wants to give me. Maybe 16. Okay. I want to see this pullback in this bar or potentially come fill this gap. Definitely has to stay above the 200 day. And I think I put a pretty heavy position in this. And my target would be I would start trimming off the position at 643, but ultimately I think this puppy goes to 9, potentially even to fill this gap up here, and that would take you to 10, almost $11. And if you're wondering why, you could see when we break out like this, it takes a long time. Up here, this is all chop. When you've come down to this level, look at the run up we had. You come all the way back down. What is this? That's a 77% drawdown. Okay. For that reason alone, I think that what their holdings, with what they're doing with AI, their data centers, energy, the story is good. So, with my background, I understand that there's a lot of fluff. It's all about the sizzle. If the story's good and they're doing a few things here and there and they're releasing it, the story's going to stick. Whether they accomplish it or not, that's a different story. But that's what makes the market. So they have a really good story. They got beat down really bad. And with a few milestones that they may or may not hit, the chart is starting to look really attractive. I want to see a bit of a retracement. Not going to chase this. I want to see it support around this level, the 480 level. What is this actually? I don't want to do the Canadian side. No. So you could see, like, that is a massive run. And it's probably closer right now to the top than the bottom. So you could see on the American side, we don't have all those gaps. On the Canadian side, we have a lot of gaps. There was dilution, there was share splitting, there's a whole bunch of stuff. But with what's going on in the market, this is definitely a stock, if you get it at the right price, okay, where you can easily make a 20 to 80% return. And again, depending upon what products you're trading. So don't chase this. And again, this isn't financial advice. I'm just sharing what I'm looking at, why I'm looking at it. And these are the key levels, right? Remember, everything's about levels. What are the levels that the big players are watching, where the real big money is going in? Those are the levels that you want to enter, and you don't want to chase, because retail is going to be the one to provide liquidity for the smart money to make its exit. And you'll notice as it keeps going up and up and up, and there's going to be slowly, they start selling into this move. They're not looking to sell right here at the top. They're slowly selling into this. Okay, they're making the market. So be mindful of that. If I go to Intel, I'm going to see how Intel's playing over here. If we roll over again, I'm going to be entering my short. If you go back to what I was saying, I don't know how many weeks ago or whenever it was that I covered my short on Intel, took a loss. Um, and I would have actually done really well on the trade, just to show you on the daily. So it did go to where I think it went. So I had the 110 put. I was too quick to the trigger. I should have held it, but at the same time, time decay was killing me. And the way it was moving, it wasn't really the most comfortable for me. And I hope that you guys learn from my mistake, because what I'm going to be looking to do is actually see when this dies off. If we do not make a new high, okay? Right now, this is bullish. It's holding the 20-day, and who knows how much they're going to push this. But I do know the government is able to sell shares this summer. So I think Trump said something along the lines where he wish he bought more, or he should have bought more, or whatever it was, or asked for more. They're going to sell. And maybe they're going to push this up to 140 because that's the measured move. I don't know yet. But I am definitely going to be re-entering this short. I just have to see exactly where it's going to be, because right here on the 1 hour as an example, I want to see if it's going to go and take out these order blocks. If we do not take these order blocks out and it stalls over here, I might re-enter my short at 130. And if I re-enter the short at 130, only if it does this, we break the 20 and it starts to look chop. Like you can see right here, guys, we broke the 20, came back up, broke the 20. Typically on the second or third breaking the 20, that's when you want to enter the trade. And this is on the 1 hour. But I wouldn't trade this on the lower time frames. You could. I shouldn't say that. I'm watching the higher time frames for levels. When I put the trade on, I'll be looking at the 1 and 5 minute chart, because that's what I need to, like, look, there's a gap up here. Are we going to go fill the gap and then roll over? Because look at this. When it runs, it runs. So now that we went up here, how you could play this is right now it broke down, it's consolidating, it's going to go up higher, right? So you can see, I just want to draw this out so you understand this. Whenever it goes down like this, that's bullish. If we were to go upright, that would be more to the bearish side. So keep that in mind. So right now, the fact that it's consolidating, and it doesn't mean that this is 100% that these structures, it's just so you're aware of it. So right now, the fact that we're consolidating, we should get a measured move to fill this gap the way this is playing out. And it might happen this week. So I would be really, really keeping a close eye on that. And I do ultimately think that this year we're going to fill this $100 gap. Do I know when? No, it could be a choppy market all year, but I do think the second half of the year could get pretty nasty, especially with the run up that we had. And plus, it's the midterms. Now, if we go to Tesla, this is another one I've been talking about. We did hit our measured move. Okay. If we hold and consolidate here, there's a potential that we come up to this level. There's a really, really good chance that we could go all the way up here because it held the 200-day. If this curls up right now, this is still bullish. Prices above the 50, 20s above the 10s above the 20, prices above the 20 right now. Very strong. And considering that it's Musk and all the things that he's trying to achieve, again, great story. So I would be watching this to potentially make a new high, depending upon what the market does. Right? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That would be it. Or this is another play that could, take people by surprise. A, B, C. So either there's two ways you could play this one. You can go long, tight stop, right? Just in case it wicks down. You gotta play this one tight. And you're talking about I don't even know if the risk reward's worth it. Maybe a 5.5% move. So it's decent. And you could play that leverage or ETFs for that. But for me, what is more intriguing, I guess you could say it's a sexier trade, is right here. If we get rejected up here, this measure move, we do not make a new high. That's a 17%. So maybe look to play this short depending upon what you see. If, again, the market's looking like it wants to go make a new high, but we don't know. There's a lot of uncertainty right now. If we go to Meta, this is still looking ugly and might come back down to fill this gap. You would be I don't know. Meta is a tricky one right now, but this is descending. So any of these levels, if you're going to hold it and swing for the fences on it, there is a good potential because right now this could be your wave 1, 2, 3, and this is wave 4. Maybe we get a test back up here to fill the gap. 674. So it's not a bad trade. You could basically watch this, see where it bottoms out. Once it curls over and gets above, you can definitely make a play to fill some of that gap. Google, to me, it looks like it's ready to come down. So Google is probably going to go and test 365 area. Yeah. So we're going to see how it holds up here. But it did have a beautiful run. So good on them. But you could see, guys, it had a 50% run. So could we see an 11% drop? Absolutely. That'd be healthy, right? Doesn't mean that it's going to absolutely get annihilated. But one thing I would be watching is to see how it reacts to these moving averages. If we get above and we're holding the 20, the moment we break the 20, we go to the 50 and we hold and it's chopped like that and this crosses, you know that there's more downside. Like you could see right here, the moment you got rejected at the 20, boom, right? So is there a good possibility that it comes here, tries to make a new high, doesn't? That's where you would want to be looking at these levels to put the short, because the short is more probable up here than it is down here. So you could wait for it to come down, try and make a new high, fail, and then put it. But that's where you'd want to be, up in this level for this short, because of how much it's ran, right? If it comes down here, you don't want to be shorting it. That's all. So keep that in the back of your mind. And that's it for today, guys. So I hope this helps. Again, sorry for the video not coming out yesterday. If you found this helpful and you want more videos like this, please subscribe, hit the bell notification so you're alerted, write comments, like it, and like I always say, stay disciplined, trade with intention, and God bless you all. Make it a great day.